I had to get a little more tea. I'm losing my voice a little bit, so bear with me. I mentioned in the group this morning that I've got a cold, and I'm really proud that I made it through my whole day today. But my voice is leaving me. But I think I can get through the hour. That's my intention. Although I have to make perfume after I'm done with you guys tonight. So, woo! That's my favorite thing to do, though. And I love it here at night because it's quiet and it's dark and it's mysterious. And it's kind of my favorite time to be here, too. Okay. Well, that's Portal. Maybe Portal will make me feel better. Have you guys gotten Portal? Have you gotten it and smelled it yet? For heaven's sake. That's something else. Portal goes really well with Odin, which is right here. I'm going to put some Odin on. Odin, I have to say, not to be unfair to Frigg, but Odin is one of my favorites in a long time. Odin and Portal are pretty crazy together. Let me tell you, though, I mean, when I make a perfume, it's like the real deal, you know? They're not just made to smell pretty. Odin and Portal is pretty powerful. Don't wear that combination without some measure of intention. When Lisa was here for full moon, she had a little roller bottle that she made with Frigg and Odin together. It was pretty good. Odin and Portal, I'm telling you. Here's a siren for you. I talked about Odin and Portal, and then a siren comes. So I'm going to smudge. Thanks, you guys, for being here. Smudge for you. You know what's funny is I was having like a little bit of a sad moment this past week because I was thinking about not teaching live anymore and how much I'm going to miss it. So I'm starting to think I don't want to not teach live next year. Is that crazy? I just think I'd really miss it. Like I really love having the feed and you're there and we're talking and it's almost like you're here. I don't know. So I'm starting to think about what I want to do and how much I would miss it. I try to do only the things that I love. I know. Well, I had sworn I wasn't going to do it. I'm starting to think I would really not like not doing it. I know. I haven't totally decided that way yet, but when I was thinking about it this week, I honestly was like tearing up a little bit, and I thought, I'm really passionate about being with you live. I really like it. I really, really like it. Well, I'm glad to know you would miss it too. Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe I never feel overloaded, though. I was just thinking that I would focus more on the books next year, you know, but part of me is like, maybe I can do the books. And then I'm like thinking out loud right now with you, but maybe I can do, because I really have 3 books that I feel soul pressured to get done. One is on relationships. The other is the Pillars of Priestessing book. And then I have my book on ritual. And I feel really like led by spirit to get those done. So anyway, there's a chance, just because I love being with you guys so much, that I'll still do the thing live. I know. I love you guys too. Is anybody here tonight for the first time? Like anybody having Gemwise in this class with me for the first time, first in sabbatical? I don't think so. Yeah, you know, Kathleen, it's symbiotic, right? Like the relationship that I have with you guys is symbiotic, and it's highly intuitive, the connection. Like there are so many synchronicities all day, every day with women in this group, all day, every day. I mean, in so many ways, it's profound. Like it would just blow your mind, right? So anyway, I just think that's interesting. Ah, Jessica's new. Well, hi, Jessica, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. There's always a balance. Remember, we just did Gebo, which is all about like what's the balance of giving and receiving. And I think the right way to make decisions in life is to say, what would I be sad about not doing, right? And it's like, gosh, when I think about not teaching live next year, it kind of makes me sad. So we'll see. There's time for everything. But it's funny because when I think about the books, I'm so pressured. You know how you notice some projects are really important, like in your soul, you know they have to get done. So anyway, they will all get done in perfect time. So let's talk about herbs and gems tonight. My magic notebook with all my notes. The older I get, the more I need a notebook because I know a lot, but my memory's not as good as it used to be. I'm excited that you're here too, Jessica. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah. You know what, Samantha, I don't think the world needs another me. I'm a lot to handle and to hold. It was funny because I was getting ready this morning. I looked in the mirror with my, one earring and my big crazy purple hair, and I thought, there are not a lot of people like me in the world, and that's probably a good thing. I don't look like anybody else. Okay, so let's talk about herbs, stones, and perfume, and the magic of frig. Shall we? Oh, that's really funny. Trixie says, on my list, it says to make more lists. That's really, really funny. Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, the reality is, so I have all of the Pillars of Priestessing transcribed, and it's a lot, just the transcription of the courses. And then what I'm doing is I'm taking that, like everything I taught you almost verbatim, and I'm blowing that up into a book. So you'll even like the book, because the book isn't just the class, it's like the class plus, but that's not going to be ready till next year. And then I have a book that's done, just has to get formatted, called Book of Blessings, which is every blessing, every invocation, every full moon invocation, every prosperity invocation, every health invocation, every protection invocation, a blessing for every holiday in the Jewish tradition, the Christian tradition, the pagan tradition, the Catholic tradition, the Norse tradition. It's a beautiful book of blessings with tabs and everything, so it's easy to find. It's got to format the thing. There's just no time. Okay, so let's talk about Odin and Frigg tonight. So I've already come out and told you that my favorite of the two perfumes is Odin, and I think it's because I love sandalwood, and there's some really sexy, very pure and beautiful sandalwood in Odin, among other things. And you can smell that. You can smell that, right? There's a white ginger in Odin too, which is, to me, very intoxicating. Here's what's funny. So Cindy says, maybe you need an assistant to help you. Are you ready for why that's really funny? I tried. But you know why it didn't work? Is these books are in my head, and they need to be my voice. So it's like, I just need time. But I have help with some things, but probably, the books and things, that's the one thing that nobody can help me with. I know. It has to be me. And it's funny because I tried to hire somebody and have them kind of help me and like brainstorm and like transcribe some things and like write things down and outlines down. I went to bed one night and my guides were like, no, you have to do it. No, nobody else does that. It's like, okay. So I just stopped doing that. Has to be me. Okay. Some things have to be you. That's really true. Okay. That's really good. Well, if you have great suggestions, I'm super open to them. What I know for sure is I got to do the books, and I'm not ready to leave you guys yet in a live way. I'm not ready yet. So we'll see what that looks like. I just, as the year wears on and it starts winding down a little bit, I was like, oh, because I was starting to plan out past November, December, and I'm like, oh, that's going to be kind of sad. Yeah, it has to be me. Okay. So Odin has the sandalwood, it has the white ginger, and it's just there's a little bit of mystery to it. It's not like Portal. Portal's like boom and down. You know what I mean? Portal like opens that door and throws you down. So be prepared for Portal, okay? Portal is a scent that I have worn for every plant medicine journey I've ever done. So I've worn Portal when I was not in this dimension. And that's part of why it's so magical to me, is because as soon as I smell that, I start even seeing the sacred geometry and all the things. So Odin's not like that. Odin is more of like a very gentle pulling back of the veil, just a little bit, to like summon you to more of the mysteries. The more I do this work and the deeper I go down some of these pathways, ayahuasca does that. Ayahuasca takes you into this place and it shows you all these doors. And you choose. So to bring you to one door, and it'll kind of give you a choice. Do you want to go down that door? And then if you don't want to, it's like, okay, and that takes you to this other door. Do you want to go down this door? No? Okay, go to this other door. You want to go down this door? Odin is sort of like that in the sense that Odin did the same thing. Odin, in his journey through the 9 worlds, the 9 dimensions over 9 days, which is what he did to discern the runes, Odin did the same thing. Wouldn't surprise me at all, actually, that a lot of this mythology ties back to plant medicine journeys, because it does. It takes you up to these doors and goes, you want to do that? No. You want to do that? No. And you kind of choose your adventure. And down each of those doors is some lifetime or some hidden information or some part of your past that you could go back and dig in and dig up. So that's the connection for me, I think, between Odin and between Portal. The more I read about Odin and his journey and the fact that he had to hang upside down to discern the runes, you know, I mean, he had to go into a suspended state. And one of the things you think about with mythology, a lot of times things are metaphors. So did Odin really hang upside down, or was he suspended in time and space? Do you know what I mean? I have a feeling it's more of the latter. Like somehow, if this, you know, think about this in real terms, and I know this is mythology, but if you were to think about it in like human terms, in order to go onto these deeper realms and have these deeper experiences, you have to be somewhat suspended in your waking state, because your conscious mind isn't going to let you see everything. And so you somehow have to suspend the conscious in order to like move past it and go into this deeper level and layer of subconscious, which is where a lot of the wisdom and the coding and all the information really resides. So, okay, I'm taking you into a place I didn't think I'd go, but so let's talk about Odin first. Sandalwood is really important. Did you know that sandalwood, you know how kyanite is the only gemstone that instantly aligns all of your chakras? Did you know that sandalwood is one of the only essential oils that does that? And ginger is the other one. So maybe one of the reasons that Odin feels so good is that it instantly aligns. Like you instantly, I do anyway. I smell it. And I remember Lisa was sitting here during ceremony, and I was working with Frigg perfume only that night, but she had the roller of the two. I rolled it on and I was like, boom, you know, like you just feel like things sort of fall into place. But that's the sandalwood and the ginger. Those are the two essential oils. They're sort of like the kyanite of the essential oil world in the sense that they go in and instantly align. Lisa likes the sandalwood situation. I need to list that. I keep forgetting to list sandalwood. People keep saying, are you going to list sandalwood on its own? I'm like, oh, I keep forgetting to do that. Maybe I'll do it as a gift again, do another round of that as a gift. People liked getting the sandalwood situation. Okay, Odin stones. I need to do it. I keep thinking about it. It's like I can't. Sacred sandalwood is really magical because it's all the sandalwoods. You know, that was my effort. Remember, like I did with patchouli, where I combined all the patchoulis, so you had like this crazy amalgam patchouli that was like all the patchoulis I had in one bottle. That's what sacred sandalwood is. Yeah, Cindy, it does. So blue kyanite is what we're talking about with the lime. I'm not talking about black kyanite. Black kyanite clears, blue kyanite aligns. So I'm a visual learner, so I always think of black kyanite as the horizontal line, clearing everything out, black kyanite. And I always think of blue kyanite as the vertical line, lining everything up, structuring and organizing, if that helps. Okay. You know, well, so we talked last hour about Sabbatical getting to request a perfume. If you wanted sacred sandalwood, I could do that for you. You know, with the Lemurian quartz. I wouldn't mind bottling that up for you. So if you want to take advantage of it and do it that way, because I don't have it listed right now. If you want to do that, you can do that. Yeah, Deb says blue kyanite helped her mom's vertigo. I don't doubt it. I had a woman come into the shop, must have been a couple months ago, and she looked, I mean, I could tell, even by the way she was walking. Yeah, Kathleen, what I told people last hour was, you know, the Lemurian quartz is in the shop today, and you get a free bottle of Song of Lemuria. I'm only doing this for Sabbatical, so don't tell people in perfumery. They're going to freak out. But if you want something else, just say in your comments, I don't want Song of Lemuria. I want Sacred Sandalwood, and I'll send you whatever other perfume you want, within reason. I'll try. So you can do that. Yeah, and if you can't, don't worry. But I'm just saying, for those of you who are going to get the Lemurian quartz, if you didn't want the Song of Lemuria, you want something else, just let me know. Yay! Like Karen wanted packs. I was like, I could do packs. Packs is something I can do for you. Squee is right, but don't tell anybody. I'll have people in perfumery losing their minds. I can't do it for everybody. Okay. Yeah, so this woman came into the shop, and I could tell by the way she was walking and moving that she was almost, she had vertigo or something. So I went over to her and I'm like, are you having balance issues? And she said, I am. And I feel like it's either astrological or something's happening, but I feel like my balance is off. Like I can't get my balance. And I said, have you ever worked with kyanite? And she said, no, I don't even know what kyanite looks like. So I gave her a piece of kyanite and I said, listen, while you're walking around the shop, I'm going to gift this to you, but while you're walking around the shop, I want you to put it in your bra right now and just see how you feel. So she tucked it in her bra, and she was probably here for an hour. But like 10, 15 minutes later, she was like, no joke, I feel better. I was like, I'm telling you, kyanite is the business when you don't have, when your alignment's off or you have vertigo. I'm like early menopausal and I have a little bit of balance stuff that's coming with that for some reason. And it's like just slipping a little piece of kyanite in your bra really helps. Okay. So we talked about Odin's perfumes. His stones, by the way, were morlanite and numite. And that was like zero question for me. When it comes to, if you ask me like, hey, what stones have to be for Odin? Like, no question. Those are the two that was like jumped out at me. Morlanite and numite are both considered stones of the wizard. To me, Odin is a wizard. He's the Norse wizard. So that was an easy choice to choose those two. When it came to Frigg, I'll be honest, it was a little harder for me to choose because there's very little written about Frigg. We've talked about this before. Freya gets all the attention, probably because Freya was thought to be more beautiful. The more beautiful people in life tend to be given that. By the way, Karen, Datolite. Karen's asking about stones for Alzheimer's. Datolite, Datolite, if it's in the shop, is memory loss stone. You know, it's one of the only stones that universally it's agreed that it's a stone for memory loss. I'm not kidding. And even for me with MS, because like a little bit of my short-term memory gets compromised, no joke. Datolite, Datolite. Jessica's asking about stones for her fiance's gout, and bloodstone is thought to be a great stone for gout. Bloodstone and black kyanite actually are the two stones that I've read about for gout, so you might try that combination. Seriously, no joke. Datolite for memory loss. There aren't a lot of stones for memory loss. If you look universally and you search gemstones for memory loss, you're not going to find a ton. Some people talk about sugilite for the for Alzheimer's. I've seen that too. So maybe a combination of sugilite and datolite, but datolite's the one stone I can talk about, or I can say for sure that would be good for memory loss. Yeah, so you know, and that's totally fine, Kaylee. Just send an email and we'll send you the thing. You're welcome. Okay, so what I was saying was with Frigg, she doesn't get all the attention and I think it's because Freya was thought to be more beautiful. So there isn't a lot of written about in terms of correspondences. I thought with the herbs, what I tried to focus on with Frigg, what were some of the properties we associate with Frigg, which is the healing, the divine partnership, the protection, the love energy that Frigg certainly represents, and also this idea, because we associate Frigg with the weaving of the web of destiny, remember? And like the idea that sometimes you can reweave your destiny or parts of your destiny a little bit if your life isn't moving in the direction that you really want it to. The idea is that Frigg could reweave some of that. So we'll start with elderberry. Here are your lovely herbs. I'm going to say this. This would make a very nice tea to drink unless you have health challenges. Then don't drink this. Because there are different diseases and different conditions that would be contraindicated with this particular blend of herbs, specifically the myrtle and the wild raspberry. Especially if you are expecting or want to be expecting to have a baby. That would not be me. But yeah, and Terry's talking about fibrofog. And Datolite is also helpful for fibrofog. My mom has fibromyalgia, so I know that well. Okay, so elderberry is the reweaving herb or berry, I should say, the flower, the fruit. It's good for a lot of things. People use elderberry for coughs and colds and flu, so it's very healing. But it's also thought to be an herb or a fruit, a plant that helps you move between worlds. And some people, like in shamanic circles, they talk about it as a plant medicine for redesigning or re-architecting your DNA. That you can use elderberry that way too. So transportation to other worlds, re-architecting, restructuring your DNA. It's also used for protection. And did you know that if you sprinkle elderberry through your doorways, a little bit on the inside of your door and a little bit on the outside of your door, not only does it bless your home, but it protects your home. So you're supposed to do that at the main entrance and the main exit. Like if you have a side door on your house, I have a side door on my house that goes from the kitchen to like where the trash is. Not that door. I'm talking about the front door and the back door. you should sprinkle just a little bit of elderberry. If you only have one main entrance or exit, then that makes the whole process easier for you. The truth is, all of these, to some extent, have fertility or protection or home protection properties. All three of the plants and herbs and fruits in this particular tin. So you could take this whole tin and sprinkle it and consider it like a home blessing blend, which would be a really fun thing to do. Okay, cool. So elderberry, like I said, protection, home and business blessing too. In fact, one place that I was reading information about elderberry was saying, do the same thing at your place of business. Or if you have a family business, you know, somebody in your family has a business of some kind, sprinkle a little bit on the outside and the inside of the door, front and back exit or entrance, to bring good luck, to bring blessings, and to bring customers for a business. I thought that was good too. I think so, Terry, but you know what? I play it really safe when it comes to animals. With my animals, really the only essential oil or any kind of tinctures I've ever used with my animals, really it's only ever been lavender. And that's because I've had animals with behavioral issues. I don't know about you, but I've had naughty animals, and it does calm them a little bit. Or I've had animals, for whatever reason, I tend to have animals or attract animals who in their early stages of life have had a hard life. Like my cats, for example, had just a terrible start to life before I adopted them. So I tend to gravitate toward animals that I'm kind of rescuing. And you know, the animals you rescue who start out, you know, with a really rough life, they come to trust you, but they're always sort of wounded, you know, and so lavender can be very, very good for animals who have anxiety. Like my animals freak out when I leave the house. I don't know about you, but like I've always had animals that freak out when I leave the house, like with a security thing. And so just a little bit of lavender, even if you diffuse the scent of lavender, is very calming. But then, you know, my animals kind of know that when they smell the scent of lavender, I'm probably home. So maybe that's why they love it so much, is that they associate it with me. I don't know. Yeah, so Terry, here's the thing. So what I would do is I would sprinkle it and then gather it up. You don't have to leave it there. It's the act of sprinkling the herbs. Or you could grind them very finely and just sprinkle the tiniest little bit of these very finely ground herbs. You don't have to use the whole big chunks of things if you're worried about your animals, okay? Or if you have grass, you know, like one of my doors has grass like right next to it. So you can sprinkle it inside and then sprinkle it outside just a little bit on the grass and kind of you know, push it down into the grass, into the soil, and that way they're not going to go eat it. You totally could. So this would be a great one. Lisa's asking, can you make a tincture of this? You absolutely can. So remember, when you're making a tincture, especially if you're new to all of this, what you want to do is you want to make a really dark tea. So imagine that you're making a cup of tea for somebody who likes it dark, okay? You're going to steep these for probably, when I'm making a tincture, I steep for usually an hour or more, sometimes up to half a day or a full day. If I'm making a tincture at the full moon, a lot of times I'll steep it, let it stay overnight, even set it outside to absorb moonlight, and then make the tincture the following morning. And you could certainly make a beautiful tincture for this, which would be, again, for house blessing. The raspberry in this is for healing, protection, and love, which are definitely in Frigg's domain. The myrtle in this, did you know it attracts beauty and it deepens the bond between romantic partners? That's another reason why I chose the myrtle. But here's the thing about myrtle. Did you know myrtle brings money? Did you know that? There is myrtle essential oil in Money Draw perfume, and it's there for a reason. Myrtle brings money. Money, money, money. As much as basil, as much as patchouli does, as much as cinquefoil does. Myrtle's really powerful. In fact, when I was going through my priestess training and we learned about money herbs, myrtle was the first one they talked about before patchouli and cinquefoil. It's true. The essential oil is really hard to find for some reason. I don't know why. And I like green myrtle, not red. So a lot of times when you can find the essential oil, you can find red myrtle, but not green, which is not the one I like to use for money work. So anyway. Yeah, so Kathleen says it's one of Aphrodite's herbs. It certainly is, because it's love, fertility, it brings beauty. Who's Aphrodite? The goddess of beauty, goddess of love. And it deepens the romantic bond between partners. So it's thought to be one that locks you together. Myrtle does. So myrtle kind of does all the things. So if you want to make a tincture out of this, Lisa, especially like this would be a fantastic relationship tincture, but it would also be one to bless your home. This would be a great, like I imagine sometimes, I don't make tinctures, but if you make tinctures, you could make a tincture to like bless a new couple, you know, who just got married, for example. I'm getting ready to marry one of my best friends in a couple of weeks. And so I'm thinking about like, gosh, I could make some sort of a tincture, like sprinkle the herbs around the altar, or I don't know. But anyway, that would be another reason to combine these. Oh, that's interesting. Karen says, she's a totally different dog after you apply what, Karen? What are you applying? What your dog is totally different after you use what? And Haley's asking, so is a tincture just a dark tea? Here goes my voice. It's not. So a tincture is a very distilled, think of it as a tea, a combination of the herbs distilled down in water. That's not all you use. So it is a dark distilled version of the herbs suspended usually in alcohol, and usually it's vodka or brandy. And people do that so it doesn't go bad or rancid, because remember, alcohol is a preservative. So what you can do if you're making a tincture that you're going to drink is you can do, and you don't want to drink too much alcohol. So a lot of people in my life are in recovery. So if I make a tincture with alcohol, there's a lot of people in my life who wouldn't be able to use it. So I'm really sensitive to that. So what I will do if I'm making something like universally that I want people to try, I'll do a tincture in distilled water. That way it has less of a chance of going rancid on me, but it doesn't include alcohol, which would mean that my friends who are in recovery wouldn't be able to use it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Heather, there are people though, even a couple drops that can't do it, which I'm not in recovery, so I'm not careful about alcohol that way, but people who are, like, even the smell of it will kind of send them going. So you just have to, think about who it is you're creating for, and then make it accordingly. If you're making it for your friends who love to drink, then you could suspend the whole thing in brandy. Valerian is a fun one. I make my own valerian tincture for bedtime. And you take some valerian, you make some beautiful valerian tea. You can add a little bit of lavender to it too, maybe a little peppermint. Make a really, really, really dark tea. I love the taste of valerian. And everybody on my team says it smells and tastes like poop, but I don't care what they say because I love it so much. But if you want something to help you sleep, take my recipe for this. You ready? Take valerian, and you can even get it at Whole Foods, like the tea bags. Get valerian tea bags, some fresh lavender from your garden, a little bit of peppermint. Boil it down, let it steep overnight, and then combine that, take that, fill a little dropper bottle with brandy, and you can do 50-50 if you want, and just a little bit under the tongue, or a lot under the tongue. Depends on your what it takes for you. That's right, Terry, you're totally right. And you're going to sleep better. And for a lot of my friends, it's better than melatonin. I have friends who can't do melatonin. I don't know about you, and I like melatonin, but I have friends who can't use melatonin because it makes their dreams crazy. But they sure can do a good valerian tincture with some brandy before they go to bed. Amy says, what? This just tastes like brandy. Forget the herbs. A little bit of brandy can help you sleep too, but if I drink before bed, I don't sleep well. I don't know about you, but I can't drink any time before bed. If I have a glass of wine after 6 or 7 at night, I have the worst night's sleep. So for me, with a tincture, it's just a couple drops. I'm really trying to get that's why you want a dark tea, because you really want the strength of the herbs to be present in that tincture. And, Kylie says she does both, the melatonin and valerian, which is great too. See, Nietzsche gets the dreams. I have a lot of friends who get the dreams from the melatonin. Yeah, it's a real shitty kind of sleep for me with alcohol. If I drink alcohol or eat sugar after like 7 o'clock at night, I'm up at 2 a.m. Like, no doubt about it. I am like wide awake in bed at 2 a.m. thinking I shouldn't have done that. I know my body better than that. So try a tincture. You might really like it. And you could do a great tincture with this. Just don't do it if you're pregnant. But honestly, I wouldn't do any tinctures if I was pregnant. I did none. I was totally like the model pregnant woman. I didn't eat blue cheese. I didn't drink any alcohol until I was pregnant with Zoe. And then I had a glass of wine occasionally later in my pregnancy because I had a toddler and I was pregnant. It was hard. And she's fine. But I was like the model pregnant woman. I was so careful. I only used, I made myself a stretch mark blend of essential oils, which I've never released that either, and I should, but it was really, really good. So every night I got into the bathtub and I put my essential oil stretch mark blend in the bathtub until the water covered my belly. I never got stretch marks. Something to think about. Thank you, Terry. So Terry says, if you're on any type of medicine that has serotonin in it, like Lyrica or Cymbalta, you shouldn't have valerian because of interactions. That is super helpful information. And I think it's good. I think it's good practice anyway, you guys, to ask your doctor about things. I have my doctor and I happen to be friends. I'm very, very lucky. So I text her, and she likes it because she texts me questions all the time too. Just today, she was texting me because she's coming to my breath work thing that I'm having here at the shop. So we're just friends. But I always text her, like, is it okay? You know, I'm on this for MS. Is it okay if I take this? And she'll just text me back. I have to go back and look. It was a blend of, it was lavender and it was rose and carrot seed and another seed. I can't remember what the other seed oil was. It was real good. Didn't get any stretch marks. I gained a lot of weight, but I did not get stretch marks. Okay. Perfume for Frigg, I just went with my intuition. So it's spicy but sweet. I like it too. I just don't like it as much as I like Odin. But I am a deep girl. I like a deep perfume. I don't like the, isn't that fun? Sherry says her doctor texts her questions about herbs and Reiki too. My doctor's really open. And then, you know, my doctor wasn't so open, and then she got diagnosed with something too, and all of a sudden it was like she needed me as much as I needed her. So we developed this really fun symbiotic relationship. But I also don't abuse that. Like, she knows if she gets a text from me, you know what I mean? Like, there are people who, if you give them your cell phone number, they're going to text you every 5 minutes. I never did that with her. Yeah, Caroline, I think it was rosehip seed. I think it was rosehip seed and carrot seed. And I'm trying to remember, it was rose and lavender. It was a certain kind of rose, though. I don't remember, it was Damascus rose. I will find it for you. I wrote it down. I've just never recreated it after I stopped having kids. I stopped doing my nightly bath with it. Yeah, Lisa's right. So she likes Frigg, wasn't so crazy about Odin. You put the two together and it's like, pow, you know? They're good together, energetically and in terms of their notes too. Okay, stones for Frigg. We talked a little bit about this in at the full moon too. Ruby zoisite. This is much more ruby fuchsite, I should say. Some of the pieces of these had kyanite in them too. Mine had a heart. You see the heart? I love the camera. It's so clear. You can actually see the heart in my ruby fuchsite. I think of these as looking like, and there's actually a little shadow of a heart here too. Do you see that? It's like there's a big ruby heart, and then there's like a little shadow of a fuchsite heart there too. So pretty. I know. I love stones with hearts. I'm a complete sucker for them. And that is a stone of passion, life force, sex. It's a combination of fire and earth energies in ruby zoisite, and you also have healing and balance. It's all the things. I mean, to me, that's everything Frigg is that stone. Like, no question about it. Selenite I put in there because there are associations between Frigg and the full moon. This is also a stone of peace, and she very much represents peace. But again, so much of her energy and the strength too that selenite represents, as well as the ability to find joy with another, because this is a stone of partnership. Selenite brings happy relationships. It's a house blessing stone. It brings happy relationships. It brings happy people into your house. When people are in your house, it makes them happier. When selenite is around, you should always have a big log or piece of selenite in your house. Always, always, always. Like, if I was going to make you a list of the things you have to have, if I could come to your house and like demand that you have certain things, you should have selenite in your house for happiness and peace and good relationships. You should have smoky quartz to pull out any of the bad vibrations. You should have black tourmaline to keep your house safe. You should have rose quartz for love, like a big raw chunk of it under your bed. That's where mine is. Or several. That's true. So here's the thing. Ruby zoisite. Remember, Zoe in Greek means life, right? So life force stone. The zoisite is darker, like a lot darker. The fuchsite is lighter. So the darker green is zoisite, and this is muscovite. See that light green? Can you see that? This light green, that is muscovite, also known as fuchsite, which is healing. The dark green is the zoisite, which is healing too, but it's more of the life force. And then that ruby is about passion. And when you see blue in there, it's kyanite. And all of those stones grow together. They all grow together. So that's why sometimes you'll get really lucky and get a piece that has, you know, a spot of the red ruby, and then it'll have the zoisite, and then you'll have in a matrix of fusite, and you'll see like another ring of blue kyanite. It's not that rare to find that, but it's lucky, I think. Here's how you can tell. Muscovite, I don't know if my camera is good enough for you to see. Let me try to get it over here. Muscovite, fusite, has a little bit of a glimmer to it because it's got mica in it. Do you have your piece that you can look at? So the light green parts of your stone, you're going to see a little bit of a shimmer, a little bit of a glimmer, and that's because it has mica. The zoisite does not have mica in it. It is not a mica. So it's not going to have that shimmery, silvery. Do you see it? Terry says this class is better than college, and I just want to kiss you for that right now. But you know what? They should teach this in college. What I'm telling you right now is going to help you more than probably 75% of the stuff you learned in college, and you'll probably remember it for the rest of your life. That's really funny. Fusite is so, you don't see any shimmer? If you don't see it in your light, try going outside. But in that light green matrix in your piece, you should see just, and I mean, I'm not talking like sparkle, okay? Don't be looking for the wrong thing. I'm talking about like just the tiniest hint of just a tiny, like a speck of silver, yeah? Tiny, tiny, but in your zoisite, you are not going to find that, so that's the difference. I found another heart on my stone. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Makes me want to stick it in my bra. You guys will laugh. The whiter part is feldspar. There's not that much, but like here's a little bit. See that? Are you talking about that stuff right there? Come on, camera. That stuff right there, that white part is feldspar. I had a piece of sugilite in my bra this morning, and I was just wearing it around the house because it just felt good. And I thought, oh, I'm going to take this out before I go to work because, for God's sake, the thing is like a second boob, right? I forgot to take it out. So I looked at it at 4 o'clock today. I'm going to make myself cry. I'm laughing so hard. I looked at it like 4 o'clock today, and I'm like, did nobody really think to tell me that it looks like I have a huge misshapen third boob right here, sticking out? Nobody said anything. Nobody said anything. And I don't know if that means, that can mean a couple things, right? When that happens, A, nobody cares. B, nobody was looking at me. C, nobody wanted to embarrass me, but it was seriously, it was like, guys, I have a third boob. So funny. Oh my God. Okay. I have talked like the whole time. Yeah, they probably just, I mean, around here, you see some weird things. You know what I mean? Like everybody here wears pajamas to work. We don't wear shoes at all in Sage Goddess. People even wear shoes in the building. So, I mean, we're not a dressy place, but I just thought, for goodness sake, I mean, somebody didn't look over and go, somebody needs to help that woman. Okay. Do you have questions? I would love to spend like the last 10 or 15 minutes just talking to you and answering questions that you have about anything. I don't know. Life. Yeah, we don't wear shoes. I hate shoes. I'm cute, I think. I'm petite. I have little Flintstone feet. I have very small feet. I mean, I wear a size 6.5 shoes. So I have very small feet, but they're very wide, like little Barney Rubble feet. So I just hate shoes. I hate shoes. So I don't like to wear them. I don't do it. You come in, you're going to see me barefoot. And my feet are usually dirty too, and it is what it is. I have very small feet, but I have very wide feet, and shoes don't like my feet at all. And it was funny because one of my family friends, she's a cousin, she came over in the middle of the move, right? Everything was a mess, and she's like, oh, she was up in my closet, and she looked up and she goes, you don't have very many shoes. I said, I really don't. I like have no shoes, right? And I was like, yeah, I don't really like shoes. I don't really like shoes. Yeah, so we talked about, so Heather, you may have logged on a little bit late. We talked about Frigg's oils and herbs. I'm pretty sure we did, didn't we? We talked about the herbs, but not the oils. Not too much. I mentioned them. They are nectarine, the oils, vanilla and cardamom. Lots of vanilla in Frigg, lots of nectarine, very little cardamom. Just enough to like give it a little bit of spice. Vanilla was there because vanilla is one of the traditional oils that's associated with Frigg. And I'll be honest, I don't love vanilla. The only vanilla perfume in my line, there's two that I really like. One is Gaudium, because I like vanilla mixed with citrus. So that's the reason why I added the citrus to Frigg, so that I could make vanilla really palatable. And the other is Vanilla Moon, which mixes vanilla with patchouli. But I'm not a huge vanilla person. French toast with vanilla and cardamom sounds really, really good. Where can I message you or ask or anyone to interpret messages I received during the Frigg meditation, or is anyone willing to give me an insight? So the best place for questions for me and truly is the Sabbatical group, the Facebook group. That's why it exists. Because my Facebook inbox, I mean, there's probably 150 messages in there right now. And my email is the same way. So like those are not good places to reach me. But I'm in the Sabbatical Facebook group 7 days a week for the most part. Sometimes I take Saturdays or Sundays or both off if I've got family stuff. Like this weekend, I'm going to be out of town this weekend, so I won't be in there as much. But the Facebook group is the #1 way. I'm always there. If you comment or post in the Facebook group and I don't comment back, it's probably because it like got drowned down in the feed and I didn't see it. Just tag me, okay? And when you tag me, it comes up in my feed. It's crazy time, because think about it. I mean, everybody's trying to send me a message, right? And I feel bad sometimes that I can't. Let's see. Any other questions? I'm going to scroll up in the feed so I can make sure if you ask questions, I get there. Amy said, I would love to know a bit about Valhalla. Did women like non-shield maidens go there? If not, where did they go? It's a fantastic question. Oh, and I see Haley's asking more info on raspberry herb, please. So I will get that too. Okay. Oh, the oracle cards are coming back, but they had to be reprinted. And raspberry herb, it is not safe for pregnancy, but it is for healing, protection, and love. It will cause labor, which is why it's not safe for pregnancy. It will make your baby come out. And in terms of Valhalla, I'm scrolling back down, hold on. In terms of Valhalla, the answer is, yeah, my staff, I'll come back to Valhalla. My staff does answer on Messenger, Ray. Some of you have messaged and gotten messages from Ray. So Ray does respond to Messenger. She tries to sort them for me. And when she sees a private message from me, she tries to leave it for me unless we're so backed up. Like right now we're so backed up that she's like telling people, hang tight. So just know that if you get a message from Ray, it's probably because we're just so backed up with messages and questions. But if she sees something really personal, she'll say, you know, Athena, there's a message from Brooke and it's personal for you and I'm going to leave it for you to respond. Unless she sees that I'm backed up and she'll say that. She tries, and she knows who's in Sabbatical too, because I give her the list of who's in Sabbatical because you guys get special treatment. So she'll be like, you know what, if it's a Sab sister, we'll try to get you up to the top of the pile to get responses, and then, yeah, Ray loves you guys too. So let me get back to the feed really quick. Yeah, so Katie says there was a heaven for those who didn't go to Valhalla that was separate from Valhalla as long as they followed the will of the gods. As far as I know, women were admitted to Valhalla. I don't think it was just about warriors. It was about whether you, to Katie's point, followed the will of the gods. We talk a lot about warriors going to Valhalla, but it was just if you lived a right life in the Norse pantheon, as far as I understand. And so I believe women could be admitted entrance to Valhalla as well as men. In Vikings, they talk more about Valhalla and death in battle, because that was considered the proper way to die. The Vikings were not afraid to die. If they went into battle and they died in battle, that was considered to be a valiant. I'm trying to get this to scroll down. That was considered a valiant death for sure. Come on here. Messenger. Okay, hold on. I'm getting back to the feed. Uh-oh. Did I lose you guys? Oh, no, there you are. I can't see the feed, though. Can you guys see me? Uh-oh. Come on, chat. Come on, chat. I'm not sure if you guys can see me or not. I lost the chat, guys. So if you can still see me, I'm trying to get it back. This is total user error on my part, by the way, so I apologize. This is me trying to do too many things. Well, poop. I may have to continue the Q&A in the group tomorrow. If you can see me, I will plan to do that. We're at 6:56 anyway, so we're almost at the top of the hour. I will do that. I will post in the group tomorrow and just say if you didn't get your question answered in the live session tonight because Athena clicked the feed off and couldn't find you guys anymore, I will follow up with answers in the group tomorrow. Thanks, guys, for being with me tonight. I hope that you enjoyed this edition of the Herbwise and Gemwise. A little bit of fun because we actually talked about herbs and gems and herbs and stones and oils, not just for Frigg, but for Odin too. I tried to cover both of those bases tonight, so hopefully that was helpful and fun for you. Next month's going to be really good. We're going to talk about Pachamama, and we're going to talk about not only the herbs and the oils and the stones that are in the kit, but we're going to talk about what goes into a despacho, which is an offering for Pachamama that you should make sometime between now and Mabon. If you're in Sanctum, we're actually going to really dig into that and do a live despacho together as part of our next gathering. But if you're in Sabbatical, I'm still going to talk to you about how to do it, give you suggestions about how to put that together, and hopefully get you excited about making a sacred offering that will transition you from the first harvest to the second harvest at the end of September. But the timing's probably good because I'm losing my voice. So I will see you guys in the group tomorrow. Have a good evening, everybody. Thank you again for being here with me.